Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, for 1 year as we read through St. Faustina's diary. Join me, Amy Thomas, each day for a short reading out of the diary which brought us a deeper understanding of Christ's divine mercy. Hello, Catholic pilgrims, and welcome to day 340 of our readings from St. Faustina's diary. As you know, I homeschool my kids, and I've been homeschooling now for 12 years, so I've taught a lot of science, a lot of English, a lot of math, a lot of everything for quite a few years now. But it always fascinates me when I teach my kids science, just how intricate creation is, how perfectly designed it is. And there are just so many things that if it was off just by a hair, we would cease to exist. And so it definitely just screams of a creator. And so today, Sister Faustina is going to offer a lot of praise for God as creator. And so that's what we're going to talk about in Notebook 6, numbers 1689 through 1693. May 8th, 1938. Today I saw 2 enormous pillars implanted in the ground. I had implanted one of them, and a certain person, SM, the other. We had done so with unheard of effort, much fatigue and difficulty. And when I had implanted the pillar, I myself wondered where such extraordinary strength had come from. And I recognized that I had not done this by my own strength, but with the power which came from above. These 2 pillars were close to each other in the area of the image. And I saw the image raised up very high and hanging from these 2 pillars. In an instant, there stood a large temple supported both from within and from without upon these 2 pillars. I saw a hand finishing the temple, but I did not see the person. There was a great multitude of people inside and outside the temple, and the torrents issuing from the compassionate heart of Jesus were flowing down upon everyone. After Holy Communion today, Jesus said, "My daughter, give me souls. Know that it is your mission to win souls for me by prayer and sacrifice, and by encouraging them to trust in my mercy. Oh, how greatly I desire the glory of your mercy, for me, bitterness and suffering. When I see the glory of your mercy, I am immeasurably happy. Let all disgrace, humiliation, and abasement come down upon me, as long as the glory and praise of your mercy resounds everywhere. That's all that matters." The Creator and the Creature. I adore you, Lord and Creator, hidden in the Blessed Sacrament. I adore you for all the works of your hands that reveal to me so much wisdom, goodness, and mercy, O Lord. You have spread so much beauty over the earth, and it tells me about your beauty, even though these beautiful things are but a faint reflection of you, incomprehensible beauty. And although you have hidden yourself and concealed your beauty, my eye, enlightened by faith, reaches you, and my soul recognizes its Creator, its highest good, and my heart is completely immersed in prayer of adoration. My Lord and Creator, your goodness encourages me to converse with you. Your mercy abolishes the chasm which separates the Creator from the creature. To converse with you, O Lord, is the delight of my heart. In you I find everything that my heart could desire. Here your light illumines my mind, enabling it to know you more and more deeply. Here streams of graces flow down upon my heart. Here my soul draws eternal life. O my Lord and Creator, you alone, beyond all these gifts, give your own self to me and unite yourself intimately with your miserable creature. Here, without searching for words, our hearts understand each other. Here, no one is able to interrupt our conversation. What I talk to you about, Jesus, is our secret, which creatures shall not know and angels dare not ask about. There are secret acts of forgiveness, known only to Jesus and me. This is the mystery of his mercy, which embraces each soul separately. For this incomprehensible goodness of yours, I adore you, O Lord and Creator, with all my heart and all my soul. And although my worship is so little and poor, I am at peace, because I know that you know it is sincere, however inadequate. As I was writing the above words, I saw the Lord Jesus leaning over me, and he asked, "My daughter, what are you writing?" I answered, "I am writing about you, Jesus, about your being hidden in the Blessed Sacrament, about your inconceivable love and mercy for people." And Jesus said, "Secretary of my most profound mystery, know that yours is an exclusive intimacy with me. Your task is to write down everything that I make known to you about my mercy, for the benefit of those who by reading these things will be comforted in their souls and will have the courage to approach me. I therefore want you to devote all your free moments to writing." "But, O Lord, shall I always have a moment, at least a brief one, in which to write?" And Jesus answered, "It is not for you to think about that. Only do as much as you can, and I will always arrange things so that you will easily be able to do what I ask of you." I just want to point out here where Christ says, "Your task is to write down everything that I make known to you about my mercy, for the benefit of those who by reading these things will be comforted in their souls and will have the courage to approach me." That is for us. That is for those of us who are reading this right now, and for every person who will come to read it. He was talking to Sister Faustina about us, knowing that one day together we would read this diary. I just think that's pretty incredible. But today I want to talk about creation. When I really started coming into my faith after I became Catholic, and I've told you about how my friend who became atheist really started attacking me, she brought up the fact that she thought that the world and the universe and all of that was just created by chance. We just got lucky. And this was really the first time I had ever heard that argument. And I was so taken aback. I was like, how in the world could you ever possibly think that all of this could happen by chance? You look around and everything looks created. There's order, there's purpose, there's beauty and grandeur. How in the world could you possibly think that this just happened? In fact, it's impossible. I heard somebody explain at one time that the way that the earth and the world is and the universe and all that it is in it is created, if you were to say it just happened by chance, it would be akin to putting two monkeys in a room with a typewriter and a bunch of paper, and over a period of time, expecting them at some point to type out Macbeth in its completed form. It would never happen. It just would never happen. And it just would never happen with the world and the universe. It's just not possible. It looks created, and it was created by God. And so I just want to do something fun. I want to go through a couple of the things that just always just leave me astounded and just in awe of God. Every time I hear them, I know it never fails. Whenever I read about these things or teach them to my kids, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's so perfect. And so we'll start with the first one, the distance we are from the sun. I mean, if we were just slightly closer, we're talking slightly, or even if we were slightly farther away, we would cease to exist. We are literally in the most perfect position in distance from the sun. There is no better position. And that just blows my mind every time to think if for some reason it was just scooched a little closer to the sun, we'd just burn up. The next one is trees and us. I just think it is so cool that the waste gas that we give off is what trees and plants desire. It's what they need. They want our carbon dioxide, and that's a waste gas for us. We cannot keep it at high levels in our body. It would kill us. But trees and plants love it, and that's what they want, and that's what they need. And then vice versa, they give off oxygen. That's a waste gas for them, but it's what we need in order to live. And I just think that relationship is so cool. It just never gets old to me. The next one is all of the nitrogen that's in the air. Now, nitrogen is really cool because it comprises most of our breathable air. However, it doesn't do anything to us. We breathe it in all the time, nitrogen in and out of our lungs, and it has no effect on us. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't harm us, nothing. But we need it in our air and our atmosphere because nitrogen, it always likes to have a buddy nitrogen with it. And when they bond together, they have what's called a triple bond, which is really strong. And nitrogen is really high up in the atmosphere as well, like really high up. And when rays from the sun come and strike, our atmosphere, one of those types of rays are called gamma rays, and they are very, very bad for us to be hit with constantly. In fact, it would just kill us if we were constantly hit with the gamma rays from the sun. However, nitrogen, with its triple bond floating up in the atmosphere, is able to kind of absorb those gamma rays. And the gamma rays break up that nitrogen bond, but when it does so, it breaks up the gamma rays and they don't end up coming to Earth and hitting us and poisoning our bodies and causing all kinds of cancer and burning us up. So cool. It's a lot more complicated than that, but I'm no scientist. So I just explain it in ways that hopefully everybody understands. The next one is water. Water is so cool. It has so many amazing properties, but one of the coolest properties that it has is that when most things freeze, they shrink. Not water. Water expands. And why is this so important? Well, think about in the ocean. If water didn't expand, it would, condense and become super heavy and sink to the bottom of the ocean. And then more water on top would freeze and sink and freeze and sink. And pretty soon it would just pile up, crushing all life underneath it, and not allowing any place for the wildlife in the oceans to live. And it would be really, really bad for us if water did sink. But instead, it floats on top, and that keeps everything underneath it living. It allows us not to crash into it. I mean, sometimes we do, but makes it more visible for ships and such. And it sustains life underneath. And I just find that fascinating. God, in his infinite wisdom, made water expand when it's frozen instead of condense down and get smaller and become even more dense and heavy. So cool. Then another one is how the world is tilted. We don't sit perfectly straight up and down on our axis. Axis is obviously invisible, but we see it as being there in our minds and our imagination. But the fact that our world is tilted allows us to have the seasons. And we need the seasons. Obviously, the equator and the poles don't really get them. But when you get away from the equator and the poles, those areas experience seasons. Not every area, but that tilting allows us to live. And I just find that fascinating. I don't know, it's just all so cool. So before we leave each other today, I would like to recommend about a 40-minute long video for you. It's called How Great Is Our God by Louis Giglio. He's not Catholic, he's a Baptist minister. However, this video is not in any way contrary to the Catholic faith. And it's all about the really cool aspects of creation. He goes through the solar system and the sun and gets down into the really smallest parts of our bodies and just talks about the amazing aspects of creation that just kind of blow your mind and just point to a creator. And it's a really good video. I'll put it in the show notes, and I would definitely check it out. It's fine for kids, fine for the whole family. If you have some time, I would highly encourage you to watch it. So that is all for today, Catholic Pilgrims. I will see you back here for day 341. And until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.